is Del K. Brereton, and this is The Real Spiel. Shiloh Institute Stand Up. It's a morning drive. I call it Freestyle Fridays. Happy Friday, everybody. Listen, it's the month of May. It's the NBA playoff season. We got a war going on in Rafah. It's 3-3 Nuggets versus Minnesota. Sudden death coming up, big fella. All right? But all that is happening at the time when a young man by the name of Bronny James is trying to get into the NBA. Bronny James is trying to get into the NBA. And I think, honestly, I think you people need to leave this little boy alone. This little boy, as most people understand, is LeBron James's son. All right, let me get some of these folks out here, because you know people don't want to call you till you go online. People don't want to call you till you go online. Bronny James is LeBron James' son. And no matter what you feel about LeBron James, whether you think he is the best player that ever played basketball, whether you think he's just an overhyped superstar, whether you think he's long in the tooth and needs to retire. I heard that, I think it was Stephen A. Smith saying that LeBron needs to retire. It doesn't matter what you think, Bronny James has nothing to do with LeBron James. Nothing to do with it when it comes to trying out and making the NBA. He has nothing to do with it. Now, some of you are going to say, oh, you know that's not true. You know that LA is going to pick up his contract and this and this and this. And I don't think that's what Bronny actually wants, to be honest with you. Based on what he has said, and based on me personally, as a man, and knowing what I would want to be able to make the NBA on my own strength. So let's establish some things. The NBA is the hardest job in the world to get. That is the hardest job in the world to get. And for people who have never played basketball at a high level, I'd like you to imagine playing basketball with world-class sprinters and world-class high jumpers. That's what I would like you to imagine. You're going to play basketball with Usain Bolt, Osafa Powell. You're going to be playing basketball with Justin Gatlin, okay? Guys who can run that fast. And then guys who are incredible jumpers, can jump 12 feet in the air like it's nothing. Dead tired, they can jump 12 feet in the air. So all you're doing is watching the game go like this, whoosh, 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 ooh, whoosh, 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 whoosh. And you're playing against guys like that. And you're telling me that you don't only have to play against guys that fast, you got to make it look easy. You got to make it look seamless. You got to make it look smooth. You got to do it consistently. And you got to do it pizzazz. That's what a superstar does. Plays against world-class athletes, because the NBA now is about world-class athletes, right? We talked the other day, guys are talking, I didn't even talk about it. They're saying this all over the place, that Kyrie Irving is the most skilled basketball player that they ever had. Lord, we see Della's the lawyer of the son of LeBron. We need to leave him alone. We need to leave him alone. I'll represent him. I'll step in and represent him. Okay? They say Kyrie Irving is the best skilled basketball player ever existed. Listen, right? They've been saying stuff like that lately. And maybe Kyrie is. Me personally, in the order that I think is right, and some of y'all ain't gonna like it because, you know, some of y'all, you're just not gonna like it. I think it's Pistol Pete Maravich. I think it's Isaiah Thomas, the Detroit Isaiah Thomas, and then I think it's Kyrie. Isaiah Thomas can dribble 9 basketballs at the same time. 9. I ain't seen nobody do that yet. Pistol Pete can still do stuff people can't even imagine. Pistol Pete, the scoring capacity, his shooting capacity was unbelievable. Pistol Pete was scoring 40 points, averaging 40 points, I think, 40-something points in college. Right? They're like, oh, well, that was back in the day when guys couldn't play basketball. Well, it doesn't matter. Pistol Pete could shoot from 30 feet consistently like it was a layup. Pistol Pete had one-on-one games You look at it yourself. Pistol Pete played one-on-one consistently against Dr. J in his prime, and Dr. J out of his own mouth said Pistol Pete won half those games. I couldn't cover Pistol Pete. So you can't say Pistol Pete wasn't the man. We know the doctor was Dr. J. You're telling me one-on-one versus the doctor is saying, hey, this guy won half the games. And the doctor was the MVP of the ABA. He was the best basketball player in the world at the time. And a skinny white kid with floppy socks was giving him work. So I'm sorry. Kyrie Irving is not going to be able to beat Dr. J in one-on-one an equal amount of times in Doctor's prime. I'm sorry. No, ain't going to happen. I don't think so. But anyway, going back to Bronny, we've got a kid who's got a 40.5-inch vertical. He's been groomed to play basketball at a very high level. The NBA Combine shows that the boy can put it in the bucket, but it is unproven whether or not he can play when the lights are on, right? The kid has had a cardiac arrest on the court. Cardiac arrest. His heart stopped. That's the number one thing keeping him out of basketball, in my opinion. That's the number one thing. The NBA will say, will the insurance cover this kid? He has a heart problem. Or does he? People need to Google Pistol Pete Maravich. They sure do. Because let me tell you something. There's the two baddest white boys who ever touched the NBA. Actually, there's three. There's three bad white boys that can play in any era. Three bad white boys that can play in any era. Okay? And I'm gonna put them in different order because Pistol Pete was the greatest skilled player. But the three baddest white boys who can play in any era is Larry Bird. He's 6'10". He can do everything. Okay? He can play in any era. 6'10", could shoot from anywhere, could rebound, a walking triple-double, a winner, right? A winner. Larry Bird can play in any era of basketball. Number 2, Jerry West. Jerry West could shoot from anywhere on the court. The logo. And number 3 is Pistol Pete. Those three white boys could play in any era of basketball ever. Okay? You got to give these white guys their props sometimes. Sometimes you got to give them their props. Those three white boys are the three baddest white boys ever played basketball in the NBA. And they can play in any era. So don't play with those three guys. Okay? I'm a ball player. I'm not better than those three white guys. Okay? It hurts me to say it. It hurts me to say it. I'm not better than those three white boys. These are guys who are scoring 40 points in college. These guys are players. Jerry West was a bucket. Don't play with these guys. So now we get back to Bronny. Yeah. Bird, number 1. Jerry West, number 2. Pistol Pete Maravich, number 3. Bucket. Pistol Pete was playing he died on the basketball court. He died. He had a heart attack playing basketball. They buried his ashes at center court. Pistol Pete played. The guy was too talented. You guys go check out Pistol Pete Maravich. You can't say Kyrie Irving's the best skilled player and not look at Pistol Pete Maravich. No way. Anyway, Bronny, let me tell you, I personally believe Bronny is a second-round draft choice. That's my personal belief. Y'all might not agree, but he's a second-rounder. He's a mid-second rounder. He's not even a high second rounder. But nonetheless, is he NBA material? Was Fred VanVleet, can't even say his stupid name. I didn't think Fred was NBA material. Me personally, when he was playing with the Toronto Raptors, I was like, how did this guy get on the, how did we get this guy? How did we get this guy? But Fred demonstrated his shooting and his capacity to be a cool-headed. Hey, he's a championship ring holder, baby. Bronny, I think definitely is more athletic than Fred. He's got the same level of skills in respect to his shooting. Just got to give him a shot. The question is, can he play with the lights are on? That's it. That's the only question. Can he actually do it when it counts? He's been having a decent show at the Combine. I think one game he had 4 points. And the next game, I think he had 13 points. Listen, get a kid a chance, man. Give the kid a chance, right? He had 13 points in front of his dad watching. And that kind of concerns me. Like, LeBron needs to go and sit down somewhere. Leave your son alone while he's in the Combine. I know, me as a father, it's tough. I understand. But yo, you're gonna tell him, listen, I'm not coming out to watch you. You're gonna make this thing on your own, baby. Sometimes you gotta cut the umbilical cord, LeBron. Jeez, Louise, the kid's still he's probably not living in your house right now. He's probably on the combines, living in hotels, he's doing his thing. But geez, give the kid some air. I know you're out of the playoffs. Give him some air, man. Give him some air, LeBron. Let the kid stand on his own 2 feet, LeBron. And the rest of you, get off of Bronny's back. He's not LeBron James. I don't like LeBron for various reasons. I can talk about the reasons. He's not my favorite guy. I respect his body of work, though. It's a difference. I don't like him, but I respect his body of work. I don't like him for a multitude of reasons, because he was a Toronto Raptor killer, okay? He's a Toronto Raptor killer. How can I like that guy? I'm old school, baby. You're not going to come up here and slap me up every year, and I'm going to love you. I'm not going to love you. You slapped us up every year. I couldn't wait to get this guy out of the Eastern Conference. Thank goodness. Right? Secondly, I don't like how he dealt with Andrew Wiggins. And that's why LeBron only has 3 rings, because he shafted his Pippen. That's right. If he kept Andrew Wiggins instead of Kevin Love, LeBron would have more rings right now. So guess what? You're disrespecting Canada on multiple levels, and I don't like you. That's it. And I didn't really appreciate his return to Cleveland, considering Dan Gilbert treated him like a house Negro. Still had him on the website saying all manner of evil things about him, but you sold your soul back to Dan Gilbert? Come on. After he said so many evil things about you, just have some respect, LeBron. Anyway, those are the reasons I don't like LeBron, and he'll never get my respect. He's a team up guy. Let's team up and win, guys. He's that guy. He's a crybaby. He blames people. He's probably one of the most powerful guys in the history of the NBA, but he's the most infamous flopper at the same time. How does that make sense? Imagine Shaquille O'Neal was the biggest flopper of his generation, or Charles Barkley was the biggest flopper of their generation, or Karl Malone was the biggest flopper of their generation. How does that make sense? I don't know. Not a fan. Anyway, somebody said bird. Jason Williams, you mean white chocolate Jason Williams? Absolutely. He was a great player. Great passer. Could he play in any era? Could Jason Williams play in any era of basketball? Would he be? But Jason Williams is not in the Hall of Fame. Those 3 guys would be in the Hall of Fame in any era. Larry Bird would be one of the best players in the league today. Jerry West would be he'd be a top 5 guard in the NBA today. And Pistol Pete would be a top 5 guard in the NBA today. That's what I meant. I didn't mean just play. I meant dominate. I meant do what they did when they did it. Would they do the same thing? Would they give you buckets? They would give you buckets. Okay, today. Yeah, Jason Williams could play. Yeah, I'm not going to say he can't play in this era, but Jason Williams wasn't a top 5 guard in his era. He wasn't. And he's not going to be a top 5 guard today. That's all I'm trying to say. We agree we don't like LeBron James, the flopper. Hey, come on. Yeah, I love it when I find fellow non-LeBroners. I find what do we call them? LeBron mentalists? I don't know. So we got a little name we call people that love LeBron. Listen, but getting back to Bron, yeah, white chocolate was bad. People need to Google Pistol. They say Bronny isn't even average as a player. He knows that, Dell, and he knows who is the equalizer. Dell is the lawyer. Listen, Bronny is definitely can hang around the G League. Can definitely hang around the G League. He's only 18 years old. Guys, he's 18 years old. Okay? Like, let's cut the kid a little bit of slack. At 18 years old, I was not NBA level for sure. I needed 4 years of university to be an NBA potential guy, and I got my NBA tryout. But I absolutely needed 4 years of university. I couldn't shoot NBA threes at 18 years old. We didn't have, there was no three-point line in high school when I played. So we didn't have a three-point line in high school. I didn't get a three-point line until I got to college. It was a college three-point line. Bronny's been playing with a shot clock. He's entire career. Clock. Bronny's been playing and practicing shooting NBA threes his entire life. These kids are different. Bronny has a 40-inch vertical. Oof. Listen, and that's not even a lot these days. Back in the day, if a guy said if you had a 40-inch vertical, you're a high flyer. Bronny has a 40-inch vertical, and there's a lot of guys with 40-inch verticals. So I'm not saying that he's, the highest fruit on the tree, but the kid's got some skills. Come on. I'm not going to take nothing away from the kid. Got a scholarship to USC. That's not easy. That's not easy. They're not just giving those out. Okay? And I think he's a second-round draft choice. I do. I believe he's a second-round draft choice. Right? I think he can help a team. With Toronto Raptors, do I want them to pick up Bronny James? Absolutely. And this is the other part. This is the part that a lot of you don't know. So I got picked up by the New Jersey Nets in 1992. The coach of the New Jersey Nets was Chuck Daly. Yes, Chuck was also, at the time, the coach of Dream Team 1. That was the same summer. I got picked up in Dream Team 1 summer. Chuck Daly was the coach of the New Jersey Nets. It was Kenny Anderson's second year with the New Jersey Nets. The first year was with a coach called Bill Fitch. Bill Fitch was fired because Kenny had a lousy freshman campaign in the NBA. And they felt it was Bill Fitch's fault. So they said, Kenny needs a proper coach. He's the best point guard in New York basketball history. Comparing him, his accolades to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. They're like, nobody's done the things that Kenny Anderson did in high school, right? Kenny Anderson, as you know, went to Georgia Tech, did his thing, and now Kenny Anderson is in the NBA. And they said, we need a proper coach. The GM of the New Jersey Nets at that time is the great legend from the Knicks, Willis Reed. Willis Reed has a relationship with a guy named Roy Danforth, who is the athletic director of my university, Fairleigh Dickinson University. So Roy calls Willis and says, hey, our kid's been killing it for 4 years, Willis. You got to give him a look. Willis says, of course I'm going to give him a look. I've been seeing him. You going to draft him? I can guarantee he gets out to the camp, though. I'm like, all right, I'll take it. I'll take my chances. So I get out to the camp. And I torched those guys. I torched them, baby. I was giving them buckets. They weren't playing me in my true position. My position is 2 and 3. They're kind of playing me as a power forward. I didn't like that. But I was giving them buckets. I had an amazing camp. Okay? And the camp was also held in my university. That's right. So it's my rims, my court, my atmosphere. Perfect. I was sleeping in my own dorm room. Like, it was perfect. Because Fairleigh is a very nice, the Rothman Center is a fantastic facility, especially in the 80s. So now, after that, the Teaneck newspaper writes an article that what are the Nets doing bringing back these guys? And look at the names they put on the list. Okay? Kelly Tripucka, for those who don't remember, Kelly Tripucka was on his last legs. We were fighting. Let me cover Kelly. We called him the old guy. Let me cover the old guy. Raphael Addison was in that camp. Terry Mills from Michigan, 6'10" Terry Mills. Kenny Anderson was in the camp because it was his second year. Of course, he's still in the camp. Eric Spoelstra. I tried out with the NBA and with Eric Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra was in that camp. And the last name they put on the list was Wendell Brereton. Me. I said, does the Nets think that they're going to rebuild with this team? And the Teaneck sports writer covered me for 4 years, baby. 4 years! Covered my accolades. And this joker put my name on the list as something that could not potentially work. Within 2 days, they cut everybody, including me, right? And I went to Willis, and I'm like, Willis, what's going on here? I'm killing this. Why would you guys release me? They said, man, it's just business. He says, you went to a mid-major school. You're not going to put, this is what Willis said, you're You're going to make it somewhere, but you can't put butts in the seats. That's what he told me. You can't put butts in the seats, and who's going to buy a jersey with Brereton on the back? Oh, hit me in my chest. Who's going to buy a jersey with Bronny James on the back? It'll be sold out. It'll be sold out. If Bronny James has a jersey in any NBA team, kids are going to wear that jersey. He's a marketing machine. People are going to want to wear Bronny James's jersey for the first team he plays with, and it's a nostalgic jersey. Collectors are going to want the jersey. Even if Bronny is a washout, that's a good jersey to have. People are going to come out, Toronto, they're going to come out to see Bronny James play. If we draft Bronny James, people are going to come watch the game to see Bronny James, just because he's LeBron James's kid. So business-wise, I believe Bronny James is going to make the NBA, but I think he's going to be a second-round draft choice. I don't think he's going to be a first. I don't think people are going to waste a first-round pick on him. I don't believe that's going to happen. And lastly, from Bronny's perspective, and a lot of you guys don't understand this, an unrestricted free agent, like a free agent, just call him a free agent because it's not really unrestricted because he's just a free agent. If he does not get picked up, let's say nobody drafts him, and he makes a team outside of being drafted, he goes and does it the hard way and makes a team, he can negotiate anything. If he gets drafted, his money is locked in a particular scenario. But if he goes and actually makes a team, he can negotiate anything. His contract is wide open. A little bit better. Not that he needs money. I don't think Bronny's going to need money. But it would be nice to be able not to have to go to your dad, go to the piggy bank, the LeBron James piggy bank for a handout. Yeah, the money angle makes sense to me. If I'm a GM, okay, I've only got second round picks on my hands, right? I've got a playoff team, and I got a couple second round picks. I'm gonna pick up Bronny. Why not? Now, from Bronny's side of the fence, you don't want to get picked up with a team that has a legitimate backcourt that you can't pierce through. Like, it'd be terrible if that guy got sent to Golden State. That'd be ironic, though. That'd be so ironic. So ironic. But if to go to a team that already has all-star guards, like even going to Cleveland would be bad, because he's not going to play. He's not going to smell the court. He needs a team like the Raptors. The Raptors are perfect for him because he's going to get playing time. He's going to get time. These bums ain't going to keep Bronny on the bench unless these GMs are just stupid, which the verdict is not back yet on Masai Ujiri, because Masai going from championship to garbage. It's like a guy who buys a Bentley, fixes it up, and then decides that he wants to refurbish the Bentley, and when he finishes, the Bentley looks like an Elantra. That's what's happened to Toronto. We look like an expensive Elantra under the mechanic hands of Masai Ujiri. But Bronny, man, y'all people need to leave this kid alone. Let the kid aspire to be what he's going to be, and let him win or fail on his own merits. Where's Michael Jordan's son? Where's Magic Johnson's son? Okay, Magic Johnson's son. Hey, Magic Johnson's son might be able to hoop. Magic Johnson's son might be able to hoop. He might be able to, but he's going to wear a tutu and red lipstick while he does it. He's gonna be dressed in heels, okay? And let me tell you something. That's been done before. Do you know the greatest flamer? I told you this was Freestyle Friday. I'm gonna talk about anything. You know the greatest flamer in the history of the NBA? Somebody tell me. I can tell you. He is a she. No. He is a he. Okay? He is not a she. He is a he. Okay? The greatest Batiman. Okay? I don't know if y'all I can use the words because it's my doggone show. The greatest Batiman in the history. In Trinidad we call him an anti-man. The greatest anti-man in the history of the NBA. Flaming. On fire. Flaming. Who is it? He used to give people buckets and used to show up wearing pink fur coats, high heels, and lipstick. Who is it? I'm gonna tell you, you will not believe it. You will not believe who is the best homosexual, flaming homosexual in the history of the NBA. You will not believe it. I'll give you 5 seconds to write it down. Who do you think it is? Okay, you want a hint? He played in the Eastern Conference. He was regarded as one of the greatest players of his generation. Want another hint? I'll give you one more hint. He scored 40 points in a quarter. Leave Michael Jordan's name off the list there. Don't talk about Mike like that. Don't talk about Mike. Stop talking about Mike like that. Stop that. Bernard King. Bernard King. I got it under good advisement. Got a good advisement. Bernard King was a flaming homosexual. Flaming homosexual. But Bernard King would take off his women's underwear and put a jockstrap on and give Negroes buckets. Imagine. Imagine Bernard and saying, I'm gonna give you buckets today. Bernard King, Bernard King. I got this under good advisement. I got a lot of brothers. I got a brother who played with him, Canada. His son's in the NBA right now. He's one of the greatest shooters in the history of the NBA. Mitchell Wiggins. Mitch played with Bernard. It's like Bernard King walk in there. Boy, he walk in there sometime wearing a dress. I was shocked myself. But Bernard King, man, Bernard King gave you buckets and then be putting his makeup on after the game. Yeah. So you guys need to leave Bronny alone, man. Bronny's gonna be fine. If I'm 18 years old, I can shoot the lights out. I got a 40-inch vertical. Imagine when I'm 20. Imagine when I'm 21. Bronny, when he's 21, 22, he's got his upside is Mitchell from Cleveland. That's his upside. That's Bronny's upside. Donovan Mitchell. That's not a joke. That's true. That's his upside. So that's his ceiling. He could be that dude. He's got hops like him already. He can shoot like him. Hey, that's his upside. So if I'm an NBA GM, I'm like, I can pick him up in the second round. I'm definitely gonna pick him up, and I'm gonna let him go. I'm not gonna sit him on the bench. I'm not gonna Tracy McGrady him. That's what we did in Toronto. We put Tracy on the bench for his first year. That's why we lost him. But I'm gonna put him out there. We got this kid that we drafted, and you guys heard about him, Grady Dick, right? Grady Dick was a, pretty doggone good shooter in college, but in the NBA, we're playing the heck out of him. Yeah, can I get a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese? No, cinnamon raisin bagel with cinnamon raisin bagel belt with cream cheese. The belt. The bacon belt with cream cheese. Yep. Yeah, I eat pork. I do.
Anything else?
Nope. I admit he inherits the spite. Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to stop. I was like, listen, I'm not going to make this kid be a casualty of my LeBron James war. That's unfair. That's unfair. The sins of the father, okay, are not going to be attributed to the son. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that to the whole family. I want to see Bryce also. I want to see what happens with Bryce afterward, because Bryce is supposed to be nicer than Bronny and LeBron. That's what they say, but that's pushing it. He's definitely not nicer than LeBron in high school. He's not nicer than LeBron in high school. LeBron was a phenom in high school. That's just ridiculous to push that, right? And I think LeBron's claim to fame, his high school claim to fame, was that LeBron played football and basketball. He was tough, he was athletic, he was fearless, he was a leader, and he was hungry. His kids clearly don't have to be hungry, don't have to have that level of compete to make it. And LeBron had Gloria James. Gloria James, baby. Gloria made that. That's Gloria's baby. Hey, don't take nothing away from Gloria James. That's Gloria James's child. You know? So I think that we need to cut the kid a little bit of slack. That's what I think. Give the kid a little bit of slack. Huh? Wouldn't this be crazy if I had insufficient funds online? You'd be like, this brother got no money. Thank you. Thank you. You'd be like, this brother had insufficient funds to buy a bagel. It's Freestyle Friday, baby. It's Freestyle Friday on the morning drive. It's Del K. Brereton. This is the real spiel. I appreciate you guys for coming on here and having a conversation about Bronny and about the NBA. I was shocked last night that the Minnesota Timberwolves blew out the Denver Nuggets. Like they demolished them. It was a good old fashioned shed out in the back shed, ass whooping. Woo! And now they pushed it to Game 7. That's going to be that's going to be a heck of a finals. That's going to be a heck of a finals. Final game. Wow, it's crazy. I absolutely want Minnesota to win. I hope Cat's okay. I know he had a knee injury. I don't know if he played last night. I didn't check. I know Ant-Man had 27 points, and I know that the high scorer for the Denver Nuggets was Aaron Gordon with 20 points. And you can't win a game if Aaron Gordon is your high scorer. And don't get me wrong. Aaron Gordon has been playing like a max money guy in the playoffs. Playoff Eric Gordon is not to be underestimated. He has been playing his behind off, his light skin, high jumping behind off. But if Aaron Gordon is your high scorer, you ain't going to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's not going to happen. That ain't going to happen. And clearly, he was the only guy that showed up last night. And they got their butts whooped. And that's interesting. So I think personally that the momentum that Minnesota has right now is going to push them past the Denver Nuggets. I think after that happens, you're going to have to really look at the fact that the Joker won three MVPs in 4 years. Because I made a mistake on that last time saying he won 3 in a row. I forgot Embiid won one last year. But it's like they're giving this guy the MVP every other year. I think personally, I think the Joker was maybe the third guy. I think it was between Shai and Luka this year. I really think it was really Luka's to lose. Like Luka's body of work is crazy. The kind of numbers Luka put up this year doesn't make sense. He's not the MVP. It really doesn't make sense that he's not the MVP. Doesn't make sense. But they want to give it back to the Joker, and but one way or another, I know this is gonna hurt your feelings. Black people are not the best basketball players in the NBA anymore. What? How are black folks not the best basketball players in the NBA anymore? It was definitely between. It was the top 3 guys were 2 Europeans and a Canadian. Those were the top 3 MVP vote getters in the NBA. 2 Europeans and a Canadian. And only one of those guys is black, and it's the Canadian. That must hurt your feelings down there in the South, huh? That must just make the gumbo just rumble in your stomach. But black people are not the best basketball players in the world right now, according to sports writers. Now, let's put it that way, right? According to the sports writers, black people aren't the best basketball players in the NBA. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you, when you think about it. But the statistics, my list from 5 years old just came back for a second. Statistically, can't take anything away from those brothers. Luka's a bucket. Joker, nobody can cover him. No center in the NBA can say, I outplay that guy every time I play him. Nobody can say that. Rudy Gobert can do nothing with him. Zero. Nothing with him. Even Wemby. Can Wemby handle the Joker? Can Joel Embiid handle him? So, I mean, the stats are speaking for themselves. When Michael Jeffrey Jordan was playing, I tell you right now, there was no way in hell two European dudes are going to be considered the best basketball players in the world. No way in hell. He wouldn't have let it happen. He would have committed Harry Carey in the middle of the court. No, he's not allowing that. I don't know what's happening. What's going on with you new American black people? Black American players. I'm talking about the black Americans. Because us Canadians, we balling out here. The black Canadians, we bad like crazy out here. We MVP candidates, baby. Come on, Shy. Talk to them, Shy. Come on, Shy. Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on. It must be the food in America. It must be the food. Something's happening. Come on, man. You guys gave us Jesse Owens. You gave us Carl Lewis. You gave us the Brown Bomber. Come on, man. You gave us the Junkyard Dog from wrestling. You guys gave us a whole lot of stuff. What's going on? What's going on in America, baby? You guys are supposed to be producing thoroughbreds. You're producing Shaquille O'Neals in one generation, and in the next generation, you're producing Cat Williamses. You're producing Kevin Harts. I'm playing with you, man. I'm playing with you. You know we're all one people. I like to make fun of my American constituency. I love y'all though. We're all one Africa. We're all one people. Amen. Most of it, we're all Shemitic and Hamitic people doing our thing. But I just like to make fun of you guys and tell you I love you. It's my time to go. This has been The Real Spiel. Leave Bronny alone. Let Bronny do what Bronny's going to do. And let's see what happens with the young man. I wish him all the best. I hope he truly makes an NBA team. I hope he can watch for years and see the legacy. It's great to see a man leave a legacy. LeBron is going to leave a legacy of his children, a legacy of what a classy basketball player is, and what a guy who likes to flop a lot and team up with other dudes. We've seen that. All that's part of his legacy. And he's the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA. The greatest. He's an all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA. Can't take that away from him. He had to play 45 years to get it, but can't take that away from him. Okay. So God bless y'all. The black American players in basketball, they lack fundamentals, but they are skillful. Well, Kyrie Irving's supposed to be the most skillful guy in basketball, right? But he's not the best player. It's like, how are you the most skillful, but you're not the best? I don't know. Kyrie to me is an underachiever. I think Kyrie Irving can literally do more. I would love to see him do more. I would love to see him shoot more. I'd love to see him apply himself more to be a more prolific scorer. He does what Kyrie does, and I look forward to seeing Kyrie play a lot more. He's a fantastic basketball player, and but I think he can do more, personally. So, God bless y'all, man. Take it easy and have an amazing day. I'll talk to you guys in the afternoon. Bye-bye.